Hi, my fellow New Jerseyans. Thanks for opening up the latest edition of the Menendez Message, a way in which we try to be able to communicate with you what we're doing here in the Senate on your behalf. I hope everyone had a great and safe Independence Day, 4th of July celebration, a moment in our country where we celebrate and come together as Americans of all walks of life. And I want to give you a brief update about my most recent work here in the Senate. Obviously, job one has been the creation of jobs and the economy. That's my first priority. I know from sitting around kitchen tables with families in New Jersey how this is a big issue for them. Someone in their family's lost a job. Someone is facing the challenges of trying to look for a job in a tough marketplace. So I've been working on critical legislation to free up small business lending, which are the greatest creator of jobs in our state and in our country. And that includes some of the provisions that I've had in the legislation for community development, financial institutions that help create local jobs. It's also about making sure that the Recovery Act is being used for job creation. And so in New Jersey, we've been able to use some of our Recovery Act funds to create Green Job Center, to invest in worker training, trying to make sure they can transition to jobs that are available in this marketplace and have the skills for it, and also making major investments that will put people to work in a different way, like in housing, particularly in communities like Jersey City and Trenton, where we got some major investments that will put people to work in construction, change the nature of housing, move to a more community setting, and all of that, I think, will change the quality of life for residents of those communities and others across the state. We're working hard against opposition by some in the Senate to pass an unemployment extension. I have voted for one several times. Unfortunately, under the filibuster rules that exist in the Senate, we have not been able to hit 60 votes. It's not simply a 51 vote margin that we need, it's a 60 vote margin that we need. And we've fallen short a couple of times by 1 or 2 votes. It's my hope that we will soon be able to pass that, because we understand that people looking for work in this environment and maybe working very hard to find a job but still can't find one, still need to feed their families and put food on the table. At the same time, we're trying to make sure that some of the policies of the past that created the problems we have today don't happen again. And that's why I'm such a big proponent of Wall Street reform. It's my expectation that we will be voting soon to make sure that we have new regulations and new entities with the power and the ability to ensure that we support a free market, but not a free-for-all market. That we have clear rules of the road so there can never be excesses again, excesses in financial institutions that the American taxpayers had to help because they would have created enormous risk to our overall economy. We never want to be put in that position again, and that's what Wall Street reform is all about. And finally, I'm also very focused on the question of the spill in the Gulf of Mexico. It is my legislation that has been driving the effort to lift the cap of liability that exists for oil companies like BP. Right now, they're limited to only $75 million of liability. They make over $90 million a day. It would be outrageous that BP could get away not paying all of those who have been economically hurt by the spill in the Gulf with less than 1 day's profits. And so my legislation would create unlimited liability. It has now passed the Senate the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, and we're looking forward to passage in the Senate when we return into session. We think that's incredibly important, and it is an example of why my opposition to offshore drilling off the shore of New Jersey is so important. It's a position I've had for a long time. We have a $50 billion coastal economy in New Jersey between tourism, commercial, recreational fishing, and the last thing that we need is to have the type of oil spill that we've seen in the Gulf because of the recklessness of companies like BP ever become a reality on the beaches of New Jersey. Can't do that to our economy, can't do that for our environment, can't do that to future generations of New Jerseyans. So I invite you to read more about the issues of the day and my other work in this newsletter. I hope you have a great summer, and I look forward to seeing you around the Garden State.